hello, welcome everyone. It's Miss Angelique Luna solo on Date Night with the Lunas. So I'm having a solo date by myself without John. Please send some good healing, positive vibes for him. Poor guy is just feeling under the weather. I don't know if it was food poisoning, the stress, or something. The poor guy just clocked out after sex positive me at 2:30. So send good vibes to him. So I guess I have to like retell the story of our weekends. But first off, I like to give shout shout outs to our sponsors. I think it's Fairvilla University that strives to provide a judgment free learning experience where every student has the opportunity to learn about sexual health and wellness. Check them out at fairvilla.com/education, where we're actually going to be teaching this Thursday, Tantra 101 at 8 o'clock. Tickets are still available. They're only $15, which I think it's a great deal, but they also give you a 15% discount as a trade off to give us your input because we love hearing feedback, what's going on, what you enjoy about the class, what you hate about the class, any new classes and workshops, because the higher ups, the gods maybe, needs to have it in writing to know that this is what people want. Because I could be preaching, hey, they want a lifestyle class, they want etiquette, and I'm just like, well, tell them. Thank you, Samora. Love the outfit. I have also SDC live in the chat room. So there we could talk a little bit more. We also have, comments here that you could talk. So let me start with my weekend and then I'm going to paraphrase John's weekend because we did both go on separate dates. He had a date on Friday night here, and I promised one of my good friends, which he has consented that I could use him on the show, even though I've talked about him, but now I could say a name. We will refer to a name to AKA Drew, my special boy. He's so special because sometimes I secretly think he's a masochist, even though he doesn't want to admit to it. Because some of the shit and some of the people he interacts, I'm like, dude, I've told you for the last couple of years, stay away, do this, do that. And he's cute, he's adorable. He's a cutie. What can I say? So I promised him, and we finally had the gods align. Father's Day weekend, we went Friday night to Trapeze. Poor guy was stressed out on this, like, we gotta get there, gotta get there, I'm like, we have all night. Trapeze doesn't open at 10, and we left Orlando at 4. So we have a good 6 hours to get from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. But again, he's my special boy. He's so special. Love him to death. We go to trapeze. So I was a little heartbroken in regards to trapeze's quality of cleanliness. So in the past, I rarely saw condoms and wrappers thrown all over the playrooms. Usually they had little trash cans or they had like, an attendant coming around to clean. Wasn't so much the case. So I was just like, okay, now I know for next time. We were nice enough or fortunate enough to stay at a hotel that's directly across from Trapeze. So technically, we could have walked across the street, no problems, but it is like a 6 lane highway. Traffic, just go with it. But he was like, you're wearing heels, you look nice in your black cocktail dress. We're driving. I'm like, so we literally drove across the street. I just like no. Like a couple of years ago when John and I went there during New Year's Eve, we just did that. We just walked across the street. We just I couldn't justify really going and paying for valet. But it's not my money. He treated me. He's a gentleman. So, and also he did spoil me quite a bit this entire weekend. Like he always, always opened the door for me to eat when I got in, when I got out. He was there. So very chivalrous, Drew. But now I'm asking John to do that. I know now I'm expecting too much after 11 years of being together that I expect him to like open the door all the time and just like, yeah. So, but like I said, this is the first time Drew and I spent a consistent 20 hours together and we didn't kill each other. Like there's times like I would seriously kill the boy because he's just, so, but We had an awesome meals because I'm also a foodie, and to get good Cuban food, you definitely have to get that in South Florida. You can't just get it up here. It's like no way. There's no yeah. So and I think I really overdid it with the cortadito. So for those who are not familiar, a cortadito is a Cuban espresso coffee with steamed milk. There's also Cuban coffee that's like straight espresso, that if you drink more than a double shot, they might think you're insane because it is super strong and powerful. So if you're looking for the Red Bull of coffee, Cuban coffee is the way to go. So we've got two trapeze around 11 o'clock, and we kind of like, sat around. Well, not sat, like lean on the bar and observe. Because I like to play anthropologist when I'm at a swing club, and especially down at trapeze, because just reading the body language of people in the club, I could call out newbies on a date, not comfortable, and he found it very interesting and humorous and intellectually stimulating, in which he's more of like an egghead, that he needs his brain stimulated in order for him to really get aroused. And that was just really getting his brain, because we found four people. So it was like two couples, couple A, couple B. And we could tell couple A was more confident in what they wanted. Couple B, not so much. So, male A was dancing with female B, and they just had chemistry. They were like together. They were dancing. They were all over each other. They were like slow dancing to some of the reggaeton hip hop songs, and I'm like, okay, just not the dance formation I would think in regards to that kind of music, but go for it. Then male B and female A, oh God, the chemistry was so off. It was such a train wreck off that it was like, holy shit. Let him go have somebody else, because yeah, male B and female A, yeah, no, just no. It was just sad. It was really sad. And I'm just laughing and just like, yeah, that's just a train wreck right there. And it's just like, it is the other like party not communicating and seeing this train wreck go really really bad. But I mean, they were in their own world, and it happens, and I've seen that happen quite a bit. Like one pair, they got along, the other, it's like, okay, we'll just watch the chemistry between those two and sit in the sidelines. Like it was a pretty pathetic female A, the way she was just going upping and grinding and just like kissing, and male B was just standing there, just like cold stone, like could have been a statue or something. It was just, yeah, just really bad. So Drew and I were just laughing our heads off, and it was just entertained. And then no one was really on the dance floor, which was I kind of like. Some people like to dance, but the bar area was pretty packed, and it's a BYOB kind of place. But they do have like mixers and sodas, and they can make you what kind of drinks you want, but you just have to bring your alcohol. They had the dinner buffet, of course, at 11 o'clock. It was steak, mushroom, salad, couple of desserts, pastries, cookies. I forgot what else this was, because we really didn't eat the dinner meal there, because we just ate from the Cuban restaurant. Then we go back to the playrooms, and we have such a great time back there, because it's just a little of everything. Because I'm kind of like a voyeur, and of course an exhibitionist, but definitely voyeur first. And it's, you're looking around. And what I do enjoy is that they do put different wristband colors for the different types of individuals. So if you're a couple, you have like one color. If you're a single male, you have another color. And then I don't, honestly, I don't think there was any single females there, because everyone just had the couples wristband or the single male wristbands. And the reason they have that is that they have a couples only room. So you have to be there a couple, or you could be a single female and you could wander in that area. And then they have like the rest of the area. So they have like playrooms that you could close the door, opens, and gang, aka gang bangs, because that's what a lot of the guys are doing. I was so busy during the week, I really didn't pay attention to like the attendees list, who's all coming to trapeze and what was the theme. I just grabbed a black cocktail dress and heels, and I figure, hey, that's good enough for me. That's always a hit. So that, luckily, that was the theme of the night, and we got a discount. I'm like, yep, bae. So we're in the couple side, and we get like super comfortable. So Drew is laying on his back, I'm laying on top of Drew, so I'm able to like stretch over here, he's laying over there, and I'm just like caressing, playing with his balls, having a good time. And he's like all freaking out. He's like, are you sure you're comfortable? Are you sure you could do that? It's like, honey, the whole part of doing yoga is to do funky sexual things. So for me to reach over and grabbing your balls and caressing it, that is the benefit of doing yoga. So if you're going to be in any kind of lifestyle, BDSM, swinging, workout, stretches, yoga, weights, that way you can endure and do the fun, crazy eight kind of crazy stuff to have sex, because the thing, if they teach us in high school, you need to know the anatomy of the human body in order to have amazing, great sex. Everyone would study. Everyone will do it because everyone wants amazing sex. Everyone wants to have an orgasm that's shaking and mind blowing and the whole 9 yards. They want to play dangerous. You want to be roped up. You want to be flogged. You want to be tied. I mean, it's so many different options, but you need to know how the body works and how to take care of it. So we're just stretching. And the fun part about trapeze is that they have mirrors on the ceilings in the couples room. I didn't see them so much in the guys, but I saw it in the couples. So they had like ceilings. So I could be laying on the bed and I could see what Drew was doing to me. And I was just like, okay, I can handle this. So I'm laying on my back, fully in the buff, and he's going down on me in my little pussy area. And I was just like, okay. And I like to be fisted. So he was real. So I'm like, walking them through using the right lube to get, there, because it's like lube makes a difference, especially when you're fisting. You cannot have enough lube, because even though if you're like thinking, oh, well, she's well lubricated. No, 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 no. Always add lube, no matter what. Just add the lube. It's so much better. It's so much refreshing. Everyone will have a good time, and it minimizes any rips or tears or damage that you may have. So, like I said, just because you're not like, naturally moisturized or lubricated, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's just, lube just makes things better. Always, you gotta think of that way. Then, so we're just enjoying the moment. And then there's these three little kids. Okay. In my defense, I'm 45 years old. Anything under 30 is a little kid to me. So even though they're legal, 18 and up, or no, 21 and up. You have to be 21 for trapeze. Sorry, my bad. Anything 30 and under is little kids to me. They were like watching us, and then, this girl is just like, fuck that pussy, put that dick in that, fuck that pussy. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, I'm enjoying this, like, caressing and fisting my pussy. It's like, he's doing a good job. It's like, don't you want that dick in? I'm like, I'll eventually get there. But right now, I'm enjoying that he's servicing me. He's taking care of me. He's going down on me. He's licking my pussy. Because then we made the observation, of course, the anthropology in me. It's like, all the guys were being serviced. None of the women were being serviced. So it's like, huh. So you go to a swing club just to have a guy's dick sucked, but not to have a pussy be licked. Because as much as like we were like going, and we were in a room, like there was at least a good 25, 30 couples there, because you had the couches, then you had the beds, and it's like people on top of each other. But yeah, Drew was the only one who was going down on a pussy while everybody else was going down on dick or being fucked by dick. No one was like really, and I was like, so sad. I shed a tear for those women. I'm like, you don't know what you're missing. You're missing out on something. And I just like, and then we started talking about that. It's just like, so technically people keep saying is that, you know, swing clubs are women oriented, but we're like looking at this and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm seeing men getting service. So what's your thoughts and feedbacks about that? Should be both, an equal balance, or is it always just about the guy? You know, what is it that you think? Because I think it should be like 50-50. You know, I'm always like, whatever's good for the goose is good for the gander. And it's like, I want to make sure that, hey, it's like, do that, and it's like give feedback so that we actually got a couple of like looks because I was being very vocal and dictating what to do. It's like go slow, go hard, go deep, slow it down, more fingers, less fingers, because I was being a selfish lover. I was saying what I wanted during my playtime, and everyone thought that was weird because I just saw so many people just fucking, but no one really talking, and a lot like, it's like kind of deal. But yeah, I forgot to say, like the three little kids, they did walk away because I pissed them off because I said, I know what the fuck I want. I know what he's doing is great. So fuck off. So I'm like, hey, just don't ruin the mood for somebody that you have to put your 2 cents in unless they ask for feedback or you like look at you and give you eye contact, then do that. But there was some girl that it was her birthday and she put it on SDC that she was going to trapeze and she was just looking to get fucked by as many guys as possible. We kind of lost track because for a while there she did have like a little conga line going, a little queue line. Honestly, it looked like a Disney attraction. It's like, here you go, fast pass. So while she was being fucked by one guy, the other guys were waiting in line, jerking off to make sure that they were going to be nice and hard when it was time for like, hey, bye bye, boom, we're next. And we kind of missed. There was like a little scuttle at the single side because there was like all of the staff security came over, and we're just like, ooh, that's not good. But we also don't want to be caught in the middle, and we're like, oh wow. So but they did, they definitely keep the couples room very controlled, so non-couples or single guys do not come over. So I was like, okay, great. And then what do you call it, oh, ran into couple A and couple B, and a lot of times I laughed. I so laughed because male B was roaming around by himself because female B was still with male A. Female A, we had no idea where she was going. We're like, where is she? What's going on? What the hell? And we were just like, like I said, it was a priceless soap opera in regards to that. And I was like, oh boy. And we just, it got to the point that we were starting to make up our own little like dialogue for the couple drama because it was like, oh my god, really bad. But I guess eventually male B and female B got together and left because then we saw male A comforting, and I kid you not, comforting female A in regards to, there, honey, it's okay. So sorry it did not click, because she was vitally upset. Who's interested in this monologue? Hey, Laura, it's not a monologue, it's story time. And I'm telling you my adventures of what happened. If you're not interested, you can feel free to leave. This is the fun stuff of having my own little live broadcast. And unfortunately, there is no nudity on our SDC site because we're also broadcasting live on Facebook and also YouTube. So we have to keep with the censors guide and be fully clothed and just describe our adventures. So someone in our Facebook group says, I noticed that women spend more time servicing men, but if the women are being serviced, it lasts a short time, and then the guys quickly go to fucking. Absolutely. That is the trend that we were looking for because it is more of a fuck mentality than versus a pleasure mentality. Now, understand the difference between fuck and pleasure. Pleasure is you actually enjoy it, you are actually savoring the moment. It could be a quick, wham bam, thank you, man. But at the same time, did you really enjoy it? Were you satisfied? Was, it's like you go to a five-star restaurant and the portions are like itty bitty, they're very savory, very tasteful, but they're really tiny morsels. They're like just like fills the palate. So is that satisfying in filling up your stomach, or is it just satisfying your taste buds? Again, you have to look at the difference. What is it that you're enjoying from it? Is it the taste buds, or is it a full tummy? Because I know I've gone to events like that and I ended up at McDonald's afterwards because my stomach was growling. It was still hungry. Same with sex. You fuck, you go fast, you like wham bam thanks, it's like you get the ejaculation, you get the orgasm, supposedly the orgasm. I go more with ejaculation because stuff just came out versus an actual pleasure sensation. And we as a society don't, what do you call it, focus on the pleasure. We focus more on the end goal of the ejaculation or the cum. Mac for Play, what's a Facebook group? I'm interested. It is Sex Positive Me on Facebook. Just answer the three questions because we do ask for consent and respect. And just look for that, or look for myself, Angelique Luna or John C. Luna, and we'll put you in the group in regards to that. Because, like I said, we answer questions, we teach. I know I tangent off there. So let me go back to pleasure and fuck. Now, pleasure also goes into, you are on a diet, you can't have carbs. When you do have carbs, they're the most delicious, nutritious in your mind thing to ever had. And that's what gives you pleasure. You are satisfying that pleasure, that lust in regards to carbs. The same with sex. It's like, how are you enjoying the body? How are you enjoying each other's? And you're being present and mindful. I know we're going to be teaching the Tantra class on Thursday, and it's where we do show people how to slow down, how to be present in the moment, how to really get to know your partner. We don't really slow down for ourselves to discover what turns us on or what does not turn us on, because we are expected to and are wanting to know from our partners what turns you on. If I touch your face, I touch your neck, or what is it that just gets your body shivering and just like, ooh, that feels so good. You got to learn how to give directions. If you don't self masturbate or explore yourself, how are you giving directions? And so when you go to like a swing club like we did on Friday night and just seeing people just doing, but not really listening or speaking out or really enjoying it's just kind of like, you know, um, to be honest, and not to sound really grossed out, but like National Geographic's Animals in the Wild having sex. That's the best way to explain it. They're not talking; they're just doing the actions. They just go, the penis and and the pussy and the ass and like there is no communication. There is just, you know, girls gets her head shoved into a dick, not even asking, would you suck my dick? Nothing. It's just like boom. Just I'm just like, I'm very grateful for my playmates. I'm very grateful for John for not doing that after having neck surgery. They are very respectful. But if I knew I was going into like trapeze and just with a random guy, they wouldn't even ask, they wouldn't say anything, they wouldn't even like say, wouldn't negotiate, nothing like that. They would just go and start shoving on my neck. And I'm like, no, nope, nope, nope. That's why I like talking with play partners ahead of time. So that way they know, just in case something goes wrong, this is why. This is like, stay away from the neck area, stay away from like my head up, just whatever. Because even that, I still have a little bit of trauma from my ex-husband because he used to beat my face apart. Like, I was a punching bag. So for me, touching my face, it's a privilege. It's an absolute goddamn privilege because of that trauma. I twitch, I flinch if I don't know you. If we're not good friends, we're not. No, John. John, it took a good year and a half before he could touch my face, and we're together. Like, in a like consensual loving relationship, it took a year and a half before he could touch my face. And so things like that I prefer to discuss ahead of time. Going into like trapeze, no. It was a lot of like meat market. Two guys actually tried to touch me inappropriately. And when I say that, it's because they didn't talk to me. They didn't say hi. They just started grabbing my genitals and they almost lost an arm. Drew was really nice and just knew it's like, she's Mexican. She knows what she's going to do. It's like, you're going to lose a limb and I'm not going to get into it. He knows me very well. He's like, I'm not messing with that. It's like, if I, if they came up, had a conversation, make eye contact, something, to like say, hey, hi, beautiful, hi, is like doing that. Have a conversation, not just go straight, put your hand down my pussy and expect me to say, oh, that was so good. Hell no. Some women might like that. Some are okay. I'm not. Sorry, 30 years, I have standards. I really do have standards there. I like to make sure that we're all on the same and everyone gets what they want out of the experience. That is why I always like say, talk to people, really get to know what they want, what their desire, what their end goals are. Not so much just like, let me put my penis in my pussy. Like, oh God. Yeah, to me that's very entertaining. Or it's like, you know my last experience at trapeze in Atlanta was kind of comical and sad. It was very sad for me because I saw this guy, real hottie. It was like, so yeah, we had a conversation, we got together, and then while we're having sex, he asked like, what am I doing? What's my career? What do I do? And I was like, I'm a King certified professional. I teach people how to better communicate their goals, needs, and desires with their partners. Mostly deal with ethical non-monogamy, which are swingers, polyamory, BDSM, power exchanges. Like, while he's fucking me, it's like, oh, so you work with pretty fucked up people. I'm like, done. You're off. You're done. Fuck you. You're one of those fucked up people. And it's just like, it really pissed me off because at least the dick was somewhat good, but the guy just fucked it up by opening his mouth and saying stupid shit. I am that girl. If you say stupid shit, you're done with me. I don't care how good the dick is. I don't care how good you are. You're done. You're done. That's it. End of story. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200 there. While John sometimes he's a good whore. He'll take it and just like do it. But I was there with one of my girlfriends who was having some marital challenges. I'm not saying problems per se because a lot of it was equal. So that's why I said challenges. And she went on a bender and I kind of lost her after a while. And so far by the end of the night, because I ended up chatting with a couple people, really nice. We'd be like a little group of friends, socializing, drinking. And we counted at like 12 guys that she fucked just in a matter of a few hours. And we're just like, damn. So she was not the little choo choo train, but she was just going around there. And it's like, I felt bad. There was like this really sweet um, Arabic guy, because real gentleman. It's like, I would love to make it up to you, for that idiot, because, we were talking and it's like, why I wasn't fucking. And I was like, this is why. And I said, well, it's already late and I need to get her home because my friend was Raggedy Ann, drunk, passed out, and fucked out, basically fucked out. And I said, but thank you, I appreciate it. At least he was a gentleman trying to redeem my evening, so I would have had great sex instead of fucked out. I was like, no. It's like, don't fuck it up. It's like once you've had the conversation, stick to the conversation. So how do you like it? How do you enjoy it? Am I hitting the right spots? Would you like it higher, lower? Those are the conversations I prefer to have once, there's a dick in my pussy or a fist in my pussy. Okay, this is what I like to have. But having these other things, I'm just like, no, just don't interrupt, don't get in the things. But that was kind of our night, but we had a good time all together. And then we kind of god, can't remember. It's like, I think we oh no, we had breakfast. We definitely had breakfast over there, except that I have got down to the two meals a day and that's it. So Drew was the one eating the breakfast buffet, and they have a nice breakfast buffet. They had biscuits and grits and gravy and bacon and sausage and make you fresh omelets. So that is like the bonus points I like about trapeze. Now, not only do they feed you dinner, they also feed you breakfast, because after a wild night of sex, you can be hungry. And there's sometimes the McDonald's not available, but having the breakfast right there at the club is fantastic. So I am going to take a quick commercial break
Commercial break,
so that
so
way we
that way we
could
can
listen
listen.
to the music and then stick to our next sponsor. How am I doing, DC?
Amazing.
Now I can't find the spiel for the hormones and wellness. And we're back here on Date Night with the Lunas. Only one Lunas today. And on BFAM 109.6. Our next sponsor is the Florida Center for Hormones and Wellness. We are doing the treatment. We actually both completed our treatment and they have done amazing results. John's videos are up on our YouTube page. Mine's are shortly going on. But definitely, if you're running into low testosterone or low energy and a lot of weight gain and you just don't know what's going on, go get your testosterone checks, get your hormones checks, definitely with Dr. Carazella and the whole team of the Florida Center on Hormones and Wellness. And we're back. I'm going solo. It's been kind of a long, draining day today because John got sick. Wah, wah, wah. And so he is laying down sleeping. So please send some positive vibes for him so he feels better, because we've just gone through a shit ton of things and still going, and it's hitting us like a Mack truck, to tell you the truth there. So as I finished up my date, we actually drove back on Saturday from Trapeze, and so that was our first time ever for me and Drew, and actually me, to have an to go overnight to sleep, unless it was like a sugar baby arrangement. Yes, I have no shame. I'm a sugar baby. If you want me to spend the night with you, it's $1,000. I kid you not. I do. I'm like, but Drew has been a good friend, a playmate for 11 years. Sometimes I think he's more of a therapy client because of times it's like he's a masochist and I play therapist with him because I have to psychoanalyze a lot of his decisions and a lot of things he does. And I'm just like, seriously, did you not listen to the advice I gave you? And how long have we been talking about this? So he knows, and he's so honored and happy. And again, he's my masochist that he feels privileged that I talk about him on the show. Yeah, special little boy. Very special. So while I was gone on my play date out of town, like I said, my first one, John always does out of town. It's like he goes to Pig Week, which is a week of debauchery in Milton Manors down in South Florida, just for the gay community. So for a lot of gay men. And it's 24/7 gay men being whores and being piggish. That's why it's called Pig Week. He enjoys it. That's as the first time I sent him, because he was kind of shy because his bisexuality and he's kind of like Let me tell you, John has high anxiety, and with a little Mexican, unbalanced not OCD, ADHD kind of like Latina wife that he has here, the anxiety goes through the roof quite a bit, like a lot. And so over the years, I've tried to figure out ways on how to send them off, get some anxiety relief, to say the least. So that way, you know how they say a happy wife makes a happy life? No, 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 no. In our house, a happy John makes a happy life because of his anxiety and his stress. So, first time we sent him to Pig Week, I had 3 glorious months of an anxiety free John, like no stress, no anxiety. He's like, yeah, whatever, it's all good. I'm like, I sent you to get fucked out of your mind for 5 days, and I get 3 months of anxiety free. You're going for 7 days next time. I want to see how long I can do this. So Yes, that's, so if you ever want to contribute to John C. Luna's Pig Week Fund, please reach out to me and I will put that in because, I do send, I'm like, I don't care. I work super hard to make sure he has that full week of debauchery at Pig Week. And like I said, it is not for the faint of heart. Some of the toys and some of the things that he describes, and, of course, there's no photos. Everything is like, we don't take photos of our debauchery. We talk about it, but no photos are taken. So, as I said, thank God social media was not around when I was my daughter's age because I would have been so fucked and caught in a lot of things. So my youth does not exist. Like any pictures does not exist kind of deal. So, like I said, we send John to Pig Week and we make it an annual thing. It's always it starts the Friday after Thanksgiving and goes to the following Sunday, like the week and a half. So it's almost a week and a half there. So that's fun that we send them. And then he has a few of his gay friends that he goes on little weekend escapades. So he does go out of town, spend some time in the hotels. So he's done that more than I have done. This is like my first time. I don't think I'm going back with Drew unless we get two separate beds. He had a tendency of holding me like so tight, like a child holds a stuffy, and left me that much room on the bed, like nothing. I'm like, I twist and turn. I need space. So that's why I'm like, yeah, no. We do this if we do this again, we have to have two separate beds because I need to breathe. Like seriously, I do need to breathe there. And then normally John and I we text each other and we say, "Hey, good night. How's it going?" Da da da. And it just there's still a little disconnect between the two of us when it comes to when we're out on dates. Like, how much do we continue with our conversations of, "Hey, I miss you," or having fun, or things like that. It was just very short with John than our normal conversation. So I would like ask them questions, and normally he would say yes, no, or so. He would just like nothing, and I was just like, okay, we gotta work on this. So you know, even though we've been together for 11 years, we still have our little um work in progress hiccups things and communications in regards to like, hey, good night, how's it going? What, I love you, I miss you, hope you're having a good time. Yes, I am. No, it's like I know it's silly stuff, but that's what helps with our relationship there. But he had his playmate over, and she likes to do medical play with him. So a lot of the stuff that I outsource. So she's my outsource girl, and it's one of those things that were just like, okay, you know, he could, increase his balls with saline infusions with her, and I'm just like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I mean, he gets giddy and excited to have his balls like super big, and he tells me how many ounces, and I'm just like la 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 la. No, 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 la 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 la. I just don't know. No, I just no. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Even like after he's done, and it was like I saw him like Saturday. He's like, it's still kind of big. I'm like, I don't want to see it. I will close my eyes. You can fuck me right now, but I do not want to see you with your balls that big. He enjoys it. He like likes to have in it, but he's like kind of like an extreme sometimes, but not too extreme there. But with this playmate, he does other stuff that normally he wouldn't do with other people. She is into the water sports, which ironically before meeting this playmate, he was not. He was like that was his heart limit, and it took a while, and then he finally enjoyed doing the degradation and humiliation that goes along with the water sports. And I'm like, go for it, go explore that side. At least we have the exception and knowledge that, you know what, we're not yucking on each other's yum. We're giving each other permission to go and explore and do whatever we want to do and find playmates to do that, because it's just like, I never want to be that person to say, well, you can't do this because I don't like it, and you shouldn't do it, and you shouldn't explore. And it's like, that's where we're like, no. It's like, go ahead. You could go and explore. You could tell me whatever you want to do. I'll let you know when it's time to get censored because we're a full disclosure couple. We tell uh, everything to what's going on, what's happening, and conversations. And so it's just like okay, so that way we know what's happening. I don't want to be caught off guard. But that's also one of my turn ons. It's like I love hearing how he's having sex with other people, and especially how the guys just use him, abuse him as like a rag doll and just really go to town about him. But that is just my fantasy. Just that, well, not so much fantasy, but I like that. I just wish more gay men were okay with having their, bisexual wife just sit back, watch, get a bag of popcorn or give directions, because that's what I find very challenging sometimes. It's just finding the right partners that are okay with, me being a voyeur and watching them just go to town on my husband and just, doing naughty things is, but it's such a weird psychology. And that's just people still don't understand how bisexuality works as a couple, like both male and female. And it's just, the thing I tell them, it's like, we like everything on the buffet. It doesn't mean we have to eat everything on the buffet. We like, and sometimes we like to savor things and precious. And, you know, I can't give him a dick because I am not built with a dick. I could peg him. I could get like any dildo or vibrator and, use it. But at the end of the day, you want the real thing. You want to play with it. You want to like massage it and just like lick it, stick it. You do because it's a different sensation. I mean, toys are getting better now. I'll give it that much. That it is getting better in regards to the texture, to the flexibility, and we like doing that. But again, it's nothing beats like the real thing. It's I always say it's like the difference between a knockoff brand of Taco Bell versus the real Taco Bell. It's like where is it the same? It might look and taste the same, but it's not. And you could tell. It's like, and I'm a quality snob because I could tell the difference on certain things and just knock it out. But each to their own in regards to what they enjoy and what they like. But tell me, is there anything that you're curious, want to know, or how to explore things more? Because I know I rambled a lot about my adventures and just a little bit of John's because, like I said, I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version of his date there because I wasn't there, so I can't really say. I mean, he told me some stuff, but that's like goes into like how much information he wants to divulge because that's his information versus mine. Mine, I already know. My little Drew says, go ahead, full consent. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell about our business and all the different things. Um, but a couple of things because I noticed we're only got 20 minutes left in time. We are going to Exxxotica in Chicago. So we'll be teaching two classes relationship flavors and the anatomy of dick pleasure. So we are taking from Dick Fest, Dick Pleasure, to Exotica because I figure where else could John could show his bad skills of or his badass skills of sucking dick. I mean, deep throat me, showing you how to do it, how to teach it. It's just super hot. Also, I think it's adorable, but he's my husband. I think he's adorable anyways. So I'm going to try to see if I could squeeze in and visit a couple more friends that we haven't seen in forever. And maybe podcast, maybe not. I know we're going to be showing our adventures, and hopefully I could squeeze in maybe a museum tour or two. But we're going to be staying at the um, airport hotel, O'Hare. So we're going to be over at O'Hare, and it's the Stephen Douglas Center. That arena has gone through so many names, I wouldn't even know what it is. So we'll see what happens there and trying to get, and then give them some good Chicago food. Again, I don't know because we signed up to present two classes at Exotica, and it's so much fun. It'll be probably our first time in 3 years seeing a couple of our friends from Exxxotica because we haven't gone to Exxxotica because the Exxxotica in Miami always happens the same weekend as Sex Down South. So we're not presenting or attending the Exxxotica Miami 2021 because we're going to be at Sex Down South 2021. So that, and we're not presenting, we're going to go for fun. It's the first time in about 3 years that we'll go for fun. We've been going 5 years. So it's just an amazing event. So much diversity, people of color, classes, um, and that things. It's just like, and we like it. So hopefully, I get to see some more of my friends who hopefully would be vaccinated if they can, because I know a couple of our friends have medical issues, autoimmune system, and they can't travel or they can't be in person. So my heart always breaks out to them because they're just super adorable, super fun people. And it's just, and we've known each other because I've been attending like sex ed conferences for the last, 11 years, you know, getting to know it before I started like 5 years ago to really like start doing this as a business, sex and relationship coach, the podcast, stories, learning about the weekends and peoples and the history of leather, the history of Hellfire Club. If you go back to our podcast, sexpositome.com, on all the platforms, you get to listen to it about those different adventures. And I know it's like this year, the weekend of September 16th through the 19th, I think that's it, is not only ASN Awards magazine show, there's also Florida Power Exchange, who we've been like a sponsor, we've been a podcaster. That's where John gets his little fix because he gets animal crackers and ring pops in regards to tracking the littles because that's how we got them into our podcasting room. And John is such a cuddle whore. He likes hugs. He likes to be cuddled. And as we said at the during our earlier broadcast of Sex Bots and Me, John is the romantic, romance, lovey-dovey, affectionate. I'm just like, okay, it's I'm here. Let's have fun. Good, great. Just leave. It's like I'm done. I'm done with you. It's just like I am not that very affectionate kind of girl. I mean, to a certain extent, but that's a different transaction deal altogether. Yes, I have been a sugar baby for like a good majority of my life. Like, yeah, good 25 years. And even married with John, he's still okay with that because my philosophy is if I'm going to date someone new and just have random sex with them, it's like your quality has to be higher than my husband. You have to be able to afford nice restaurant areas and, take me out and buy me nice gifts or give me an allowance because yeah, this pussy's not cheap, and there's a lot of things I do. It's like tips and tricks and things, and it's like and then I have to hear your like sob stories. So yeah, because everyone thinks being a sugar baby is really easy. It's not. It really is not. Being a swinger is probably easier than being a sugar baby, to tell you the truth, because at least with being a swinger, you just know it's all about the sex. That's it. We're just doing the sex. That it's like there's no talking. We're grunt, grunt, dun, dun. Sugar baby, you have to be attentive. You have to have knowledge and etiquette in regards to how to have conversations, how know what's going on with the sports world, the politicians world, the business world. Be there as a good listening ear. Give advice, especially when you know that they're only whining and crying about their families, their wives, their children, and how they're miserable, they're not getting anything. And I'm like thinking, you're not about to get anything here if you keep on with this woe is me kind of deal. I'm like, I'm here to have fun. This is like supposed to be your disconnect, dissolution, not like focus on what is going on. This is your escape from reality. That's why I kind of, could understand the BDSM world and how a lot of role plays and activities that is done, such as puppy play, pony play, horse play, critter play. So that could be a cat or something. Um, and what do you call it? They go into a different zone. Like they disconnect, they disassociate it. And oftentimes, sugar daddies and sugar babies have that relationship. It is to live in their little fairy tale fantasy world that they're shopping, they're having passionate sex, they're being intimate with each other. Sometimes you don't even have to have sex, it's just the affection, the touching, the caressing, the petting of the ego. Yes, you're so amazing. You're awesome. You're doing a great job. Oh, you're so hot. Oh, that's what they're looking for. And again, sometimes they don't even drop their pants. You don't even have to suck dick. You just have to like just put that emotional investment into a sugar baby relationship. And that's why when people say sex work is not work, I'm like, really? Have you tried it? I'm like, don't you actually have to work on your relationship? No, it comes. I'm like, seriously? Have you not gone to relationship counseling? Have you not had an argument about finances, kids, not doing this, not doing that? Why we have to go here? It's like relationships take a lot of work. Sex work is work, period. That's why you'll always hear me advocating in regards to sex workers have rights. We're expected to pay our taxes, our mortgages, our rent, but we get no legal rights. Do you see something wrong with that? I see a lot of it wrong. But also the fun part is, we know like a couple of sex workers, especially over at the Bunny Ranch in Nevada, that actually get paid by couples to teach couples how to really spice up their marriage, how to get those like right, perfect places, and really get things drumming and communicate. And I'm like thinking, if more couples invested and more individuals invested in sex education for themselves, even as an adult, everyone would be having great sex. We wouldn't have all the fights and the wars and all the bad stuff going on. Or we have all the political scandals of like, well, you're having sex with an underage. It's just like, yeah, let's look into why they were having it. It's because they were in power. I know, going on random tangents here, but you're finding out a lot more about me during date night with the Lunas. So, questions, comments, concerns, complaints? I always like to hear from the audience. I know. SCC, you shock me. You've been quiet. Usually you're more chatty. Today you're quiet. I know. Oh, someone in the Facebook group said headspace. Yes. Thank you. It is a nice collection back there. And a lot of it is from our sponsors, and a lot it's like we purchase, especially all the floggers here. A lot of them are custom made, because purple is my favorite color. So everything we have in floggers and rope is in purple. And we got that. So yes, I just like to thank our sponsors tonight, Fairvilla University and the Florida Center for Hormones and Wellness, for taking care and promoting this show and having it on so we could be accessible to people. Already gave you a tidbits of what we're going on. Oh, also, July 22nd, it is on Eventbrite, and that one's $25, is our relationship flavors class. It's one of the popular ones because it does break down all the nitty gritty, dirty things you need to know before entering different types of relationships. So we do focus on consent, boundaries, communication skills, things that you need to be aware of and to ask. Jealousy, how to handle it, how to discuss it. Because oftentimes people who go into a polyamory, swinging, BDSM, power exchange um, relationship just think, oh, well, this is fun. It's like, do you have a foundation? What do you mean I have a foundation? Do you understand which relationship you're going into? Well, I want to have a lot of sex. Okay, so which relationship are you planning on going? Polyamory. We're like, no, no. Polyamory, it's an investment, not just sexual, but emotional, sometimes financial, families. And then if you just want just pure sex, go either open relationships or go with swinging. And we go more in depth in regards to all those different ones in relationship flavors, because I want people to know you have more than 31 flavors of sex and relationships available. You don't always have to have vanilla as a base and for the rest of your life, because you can build it as a sundae. Add a little sprinkles, a little hot fudge, a little whipped cream, a little cherry, a little nuts, you know showing you all these different types of relationships, how to handle it. And honestly, a lot of the information that we give you for relationship flavors also works for your monogamous heteros, heterosexual cisgender marriage. If that's how you see your life and your relationship, that's fine. A lot of the tidbits we do, because bottom line, you really need to learn how to communicate all your wants, needs, and desires in a shame free environment. You cannot be judged. You shouldn't be judged, especially since this is the person that you're being vulnerable with. You trust them, you love them unconditionally, and you shouldn't have like, ooh, that's pretty fucked up. I don't want to do that. So, like me in medical play, I learned to keep my poker face, and I've learned to say, you know what, that's not my kink. So you could go find someone else. I'm never going to yuck on it. I'm not going to say no or ew, gross. I'm like, even though on the inside, I will admit, on the inside, I am totally the grossest fuck out. I'm just like, I just can't. I just really can't. And that's okay. But don't do it to your partner. Poker face. Always learn a good poker face when you're like talking about things that make you uncomfortable, but you want to be there because your partner wants you to be there, to be supportive and at least listen to what is going on, and even entertain the fact of like, hey, I want to explore this. So we're like, okay, like I said, John had his medical play weekend with his little playgirl, and I got just enough demonstrations. It helps to learn why your partner is into that specific kink. Absolutely, Mandy. It does completely help. And that's what we tell people. It's just like, do your research, digest it, process it, then do the same of giving it to your partner and let them know, this is what I'm interested, this is why I'm interested, here is all the information I used to research, and take your time and digest it, and when you're ready to talk, let's talk. That is the easy way. Don't just say, well, I want to do this and this is how we're going to do it, and that's it, end of story, fuck it. Yeah, we've seen the train wrecks on those. Yeah, I always keep debating if I want to write a book on the train wrecks I've seen in my lifetime, because there have been really bad train wrecks, like so bad. I'm just like, did you at least do any research for yourself? Not even so much for your partner, but just for yourself in regards to what are you getting yourself into? Uh, that's primarily why I love going to the kink conferences, like the BDSMs, the non-traditional ones, because you get to learn the really really like um uncensored fucked up version of like, this is things what could go semi wrong or completely wrong, and you just want to stay away from that, just yeah. So some interests can vary from partner to partner, comfort levels are different, etc. Of course, that's why we have many. Well, John has more partners than I do because I'm very selected um in regards to who's my partner, because I do that spiritual woo woo shit, and whoever deserves my energy, it's like it better be good compensation for me. So while John has a long list of playmates that he's able to think, I think I only have two at the moment, and one is kind of like, he's been a 25 years on and off kind of playmate, so he's just kind of like grandfathered in as a playmate. Honestly, because I've known him for 25 years, and he's handled my anger sex. Okay, put it this way, that playmate is my anger sex punching bag, because I used to work in the hospitality industry, and when I was just really angry and I needed like an outlet, he was my punching bag. He anytime he saw me and I have this particular look, he already knew. He's just like, he just assumed the position, dropped his pants, and let me have my way with him. So yeah, anger sex. That should be the next one for date nights. Like, I want to know, has anyone have anger sex? Do you practice all your fetishes freely with your lover or only with the partner? Both actually. We do express our fetishes, but if something's not his yum and it's not my yum, we just say, outsource. Like I said, the medical play, that's all outsourced. I let him enjoy with a partner whatever he wants to do, but for me, that's not. It's like, so. But we do try to do a lot. So I mean, there's so much to explore in sex. It's like, it's so hard. So we're down to our last 60 minutes. So, or 60 seconds. Sorry, less than that. Thank you very much for tuning in to Date Night with the Lunas. Hopefully, John will be feeling better next week. In the meantime, join our Facebook group at sexpositiveme.com. Drop in your questions and we'll try to answer it. Take care. Bye. Yes.
You did amazing.
Thank God. Bye. Let me shut down SBC.